Thank you for coming by Tori Magoo 44. Today is January 21st, 2020. And welcome to my YouTube site if you're new to it. And there's plenty of videos to look at and learn about. This is a new one that I'm doing on. I've told a bit about this before, but I think it's important to retell it because of what they're doing to Mark Bunker in Clearwater, Florida. This is about Scientology's manipulation of Clearwater, Florida, and my experience with it. 79, we moved from Los Angeles to around the Clearwater area. At the time, Scientology had done some awful things to the mayor, Gabe Gazaris, which you can Google that, look that up. It's a whole different story, but it's pretty awful. And as a result of that, the city commissioner, Richard Tenney, was running for mayor. And so they had these huge people driving around and picketing and all this noise and Save Sparkling Clearwater, Stamp Out Scientology. It was amazing. I was just like, sheesh. You know, I had never seen anything like it. I'd seen a few people picket in Los Angeles, but nothing like this. So anyway, Milt Wolf, who was an executive there in Scientology, called me in and he said, Tori, this is a nightmare and you need to handle it. I said, me? You know, I'm a public. You have to understand, a lot of people don't get this, but there's the Sea Org, which a lot of Leah's Remini's videos and interviews, if you saw them with Mike, were based on people that were in the Sea organization. Then there's the public. And I originally joined the Sea organization because I have epilepsy and I needed medicine. They kicked me out, right? And said, you're not qualified because you can't take medicine, and put me on a program to get off the medicine and yada yada. I've made many videos about it because it was basically medical abuse, and thank God my mother saved my life and said, they're going to kill you, get back on your medicine. So I did. So anyway, now roll forward, I'm in Clearwater, Florida, and I'm a public, right? And he's saying, you need to handle all these people, I mean hundreds of people that are trying to stamp out Scientology. Okay, so I say, okay, I'll give it a try. You know, I didn't think I could, but I started going around talking to people one-on-one, just outside, you know, what are you doing? Why are you doing it? You know, why are you hurting my religion? Blah, blah, blah. You know, stuff from my heart. You know, I really didn't think it was true. You know, why should they stamp out Scientology? What's wrong with that? You know, it seemed fine to me. Now, this was the first time I had ever worked with, they were back then the Guardian's office. They since then have moved into the Office of Special Affairs because 11 people from the Guardian's office that were actually on staff there were put in prison. So immediately they changed it. Okay, we're not the Guardian's office, we're the Office of Special Affairs. But back then it was really still the Guardian's office. Unbeknownst to me, I wasn't really working for them or anything. I was just helping Milt Wolf with Clearwater. That was, in my mind, what I was doing. But the point is, they had these programs that they had made. I didn't know it at the time, but I found out after I escaped out in 2000 that, you know, they had huge programs on different people. They have one out on me now. It's a 25-step program to muzzle Tori. Good job. You know, I say that, you know, because it's so hypocritical of them, saying they're for free speech, and yet they have a 25-step program to muzzle me, and they refuse to speak to me. They don't believe in free speech. They don't believe in any freedoms unless it's something that'll get them money and bodies in the shop. That's it. So, but this was in 79. I was a big true believer. I'm really trying to help them. So I'm out, you know, talking to people, getting them to set down their flags, go home. It's kind of working. So now Milt Wolf says you need to go to the meetings, just like you see with Mark Bunker, where the people are yelling at him. I didn't do that, but I did, you know, raise my hand and basically try to distract. The purpose was to distract off of anything to do with Scientology. And, well, wait. Yeah, because he was like, Save Sparkling Clearwater, Stamp Out Scientology. So the purpose was to get it off of Scientology and onto more like, what are you doing with the drugs and the drug situation here and how many firemen are there and stuff like that. You know, I wasn't like yelling like they are with Mark Bunker because frankly, I just think that's rude, and I thought it was rude then and I wouldn't do it. But it was still a similar program run by them. And we did that, and I went to different meetings, and I finally joined Safe Sparkling Clearwater, Stamp Out Scientology. This is me, a true believer in Scientology. But we went in, we joined. Richard Tenney came to that office that day, and I said, "You're my city commissioner," because he started going on and on about how bad Scientology was. And he said, "No, I'm not." And I said, and the media guy was there writing stuff down, and I said, "You're going to say in front of the media that just because of my religion, you are not my city commissioner?" And he said, "That's correct." And so later, when I'm in a meeting with a bunch of people from Clearwater, I raise my hand and I say, "I want you to explain to these people how you can justify being a good city commissioner or a mayor when just because of my religion, you say you don't represent me, right?" And he gives this whole story about how, I went here and they said they were Scientologists, but they weren't. I went there and they said they were Scientologists, but they didn't really live there. And now she says she's a resident of Clearwater, Florida. And I said, no, Clearwater, Florida and surrounding areas, because I lived in Largo, which is right next door to it. And he goes, "Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. She is not even a resident of Clearwater, Florida." And the whole place just cheered and cheered and cheered. And honestly, I felt like running out and crying. I mean, it was awful. I just felt awful. And if you can hear my gardener, I apologize. That of course, when I'm making a video, the gardeners show up, right? They're never here. But, now that I'm making a video, the gardeners show up. But anyway, if you can hear them, I'm sorry. And if you can't, that's good too. So back to my story. These people are all cheering. I'm about ready to burst out crying, but I just think, no, I'm not going to do that. And I just start looking at all of them like, okay, I get it. You have a lot of upset with Scientology. And the meeting ends, and there was a line, excuse me, of about 6 people that shook my hand and said, "I really want to apologize for Richard Tenney. I really think your question was a good question, and it should be answered," right? So anyway, long story short, I realized these people, and now he's like right next to my window, so this is unbelievable. Anyway, if I'm talking really loud, that's because I can barely hear myself. Me and videos. Anyway, I was moving away. Thank you, Mr. Gardner. Okay, so I realized these people in Clearwater at the time, 1979, think we have long fangs, right? We're like these really evil people. And so I say to Milt, "Look, forget about all this stuff. Let's just have a party." My mother was really big on parties. If you need to get something done, have a party. So I said, "Let's just have a party. We'll just talk to people. Nobody can talk about Scientology, but these people don't know that their doctor, their dentist, their attorney, there's mothers, there's fathers, there's good people in the community that are Scientologists. They need to know that." So we have this party. Everybody does it. There's a vote about a week or 2 later, and slam dunk, he's voted out of office. And they paid me $23,423.49. Those are training awards, right, that they paid me. And Bazazian was my married name at the time. And they paid me in training awards, which means they're training. But it's still $23,000. I mean, I was like, geez. It was kind of amazing to me. But now I look at Mark Bunker trying to run for just an office there in Clearwater, and here are these people coming and heckling him and yelling at him and calling him a religious bigot. And that is the Church of Scientology running their programs, just like they had me do. And it's not okay. They're not real citizens caring about Mark Bunker or listening to him. They're running a program by the Church of Scientology Office of Special Affairs. And their job is to handle any what they call black PR, which they consider Mark Bunker black PR. Excuse me, which he's not. He's just a person who cares about Clearwater. He really does. So my suggestion is to the person running the office, make sure they are escorted out. And to the people of Clearwater, please listen to Mark Bunker and please consider how they're trying to manipulate you, okay? And what kind of group is that? It's not a church. It's not a church for what you know it to be. It's not. It's a business. It's a flat out business. And now that I'm done with my video, the gardener leaves, of course. Anyway, there you go. How else could it end? Anyway, I love you guys. Thank you for coming by my YouTube site. I hope you're having a great beginning to 2020, and I will be talking to you soon. Peace out.